Hello, friends. Welcome back. Great day in the Bahamas today. And I am arguably in one of the most beautiful places on planet Earth at Staniel Cay in Eczema. And we're staying at Lazy Bay Resorts. I'm going to give you a quick little tour. Huh. And this place is unbelievable. It's really unbelievable how pretty everything is. About to go for a run here. And I want to talk about the power of leaning in. Um, Unbelievable. Everything you could possibly want. And the airport is directly across the bay. um, but man, we've had one hell of a time. And all of me being here was precipitated by me leaning in to something that I originally said no to. And I am born. First of all, yes. On the other side of this is the ocean, but there are homes that are on the perimeter of each side. And so you've got oceanfront homes, and then you've got some homes that are on the bay. And the Bahamas, or the Bahamian government, and real estate works very different than it does in the United States. But getting title to land is not exactly easy. And you've really got to be extremely wealthy to even think about purchasing anything on this island. But this is not a real estate video. This is me talking about leaning in because I've had to learn how to do that differently. And part of my struggle of being separated and essentially restarting my life in many ways has been me learning how to lean in differently. I found myself isolated or feeling isolated, feeling alone, feeling less than, feeling, if I'm being totally honest, kind of like a fucking loser. Um, and it's not true. Um, but one of the things that I did, and okay, just look at this. This is freaking ridiculous. These homes are so pretty. And um, I'm getting sick, so if my voice sounds weird and I'm coughing all the time, I think I wore myself out in the sun. But I have maxed out this vacation to the fullest and really made some incredible friendships. But as I shared yesterday, there were some moments where I really felt like I wanted to be accepted. As it relates to, there's a bunch of really fun people, really cool people, really interesting, exciting, alluring, intoxicating, beautiful people that are great human beings. That well, not all of them, but most of them, at least the people that I was with. um, Drinking is part of their culture and what they do, and it's not what I do. Um, it's what I did. But there were fleeting moments where I felt like I wanted to drink. And all I remember in those fleeting moments is the excitement, the energy, the adrenaline, the good times. And I completely can forget what it really means to me, which um, you saw those boats that were really nice. Well, this is what I would look like if I had decided to drink. I would be that destroyed catamaran laying in the bay. rotting. That would be me. And I already made that video, so I'm not going to beat a dead horse. But leaning in, the power of leaning in, and the power of actually saying yes and allowing myself to experience new things. Because much of my separation, I have felt like I'm alone on Hope Island. I have no friends. I'm the world's biggest loser. And the loss of my identity of being a husband, being a father, being who I thought I was all challenged. And in many ways, it was depressing. And I've shared about it before. I didn't even realize I was depressed, but I didn't feel like myself. And I've heard people talk about a void in their life, feeling like there's a hole in their soul. I've heard lots of people talk about that, and they can fill that void with things or alcohol and drugs or whatever they fill it with, sex, women, whatever. Um, Gambling, shopping, eating, you name it. You can fill that hole however you want. And I wasn't really doing any of that, but I was isolating and I was beating myself up in cruel and unusual ways that I wasn't even aware of. And the only person that was suffering through that is me. So I've shared a lot about winning the day, forcing myself to do things. And that's true. I did do those things. So on paper, I could make the argument to myself. I could rationalize and justify that things really aren't so bad, but they weren't great. And I certainly wasn't living my life. I was simply feeling like I was waiting to be available on demand for my children. and and I fell into that pattern, right? And I get lots of phone calls from my kids when it's quote unquote not my time. And the reality of it is, for me, I am extremely blessed that my wife, ex-wife, soon to be ex-wife, I don't fucking know. When I say I don't know, I just don't know the timeline. But it's weird for me to even think of her that way. The reality is, my voice is shot. The reality of it is, she's always going to be the mother of my children. She's always going to hold a special place in my heart. And the best version of me, when I'm feeling okay, can celebrate that, can love her that way. And that doesn't mean that we are right for each other or compatible, or we certainly don't love each other the right way married people are supposed to. But there's certainly always going to be a piece of my heart and soul that loves her for all the things, all the blessings, all the time, all the life, all the growth that we experienced together. I'm sorry, I'm all over the place here, but I'm trying to kind of reconcile a lot of different thoughts I've had over the past few days. But yesterday was her birthday, and it was the first birthday that I essentially had nothing to do with. I did give her a card, which I gave to her before I left, a little box of chocolates that I know she likes. But on her actual birthday, I sent her a text, but we didn't speak. And last night, as I was going to bed, I made the mistake of opening Facebook and was not at all stalking her or anything like that. But some of her stuff populated on my feed, some of her posts, and they made me sad, because it's very clear that, at least my perception of that was like, she doesn't care that I'm not there. She doesn't seem to care that I'm missing. Um, we didn't speak at all, and, uh, and that's okay, right? Um, it is what it is, and this is the new version of our life. But where was I going with this? Leaning in. Um, and it should be noted, I'm supposed to be run walking. I have yet to start running. I have elected to shoot a video instead. I will start running here because I want to get my miles in. Um, so anyway, long way of getting to. It made me feel sad when I saw that I'm no longer really a part of her life that way, emotionally. And the celebration of her birthday, I was not involved in. Now, also, also true, I decided to go to the Bahamas with friends. So, you know, um, it's the choice I made not to be there, and it was intentional. So I can't have my cake and eat it too. I certainly can't cry over spilled milk, but doesn't mean that it doesn't hurt when I see that she's clearly moved on with other friends and other people, which again, I have too, in some ways. Um, which takes me to yesterday, which the owner of Lazy Bay Resorts um, came in, and Kevin is incredible. Super nice guy, super nice family. And we've done a lot. They have been incredibly gracious, extremely kind to me. I truly appreciate their friendship and generosity. But we're going places, and I'm experiencing things I never have before. I mean, we're out on the boat constantly, all day long, fishing, diving. We caught sailfish, caught mahi mahi, caught a barracuda. um, Going on these private islands that are incredible with the owners of those private islands. And, I've got some successful friends. I've experienced many different things. Um, I don't typically roll with people who own private islands, multiple private islands, and insert Epstein Island reference joke here. um, but it's just a different world, right? And so what I learned is that people are people, and uh, sorry, I'm all over the place here, but where I'm going with this was at the end of yesterday, and we've been with him for about 2 days. Um, his brother and his wife, I know through the gym, which I'm going to get into here. Oh, I think I'm rolling up on him now. uh, nope, not him. There's a few people that are out running this morning. Good times. Morning. How you doing? Good. Um, so at the end or midday yesterday, after having had an incredible day on the boats, on the islands, barbecuing, this, that, and the other thing, um, we had a private moment between myself and Kevin, the owner of Lazy Bay. And he said, Chris, you're really shy. You don't really talk very much. It's like, you're going to steal one of these golf carts? Jokingly, of course. um, and I said, no, I'm not. In fact, you've completely got me mispegged. I'm not shy at all. But a lot of this is overwhelming. And so I'm just kind of taking it in, and I'm happy to talk with you. And he said, well, I noticed you don't drink. And I said, do you mind if I ask why? I said, sure, no problem. I don't drink because, or I stopped drinking. That's what I told him. I stopped drinking um, before my daughter was born. And I knew that I wouldn't be able to be the father that I wanted to be if I was drinking. And so a few months before she was born, I gave it up and I never looked back. um, but if I'm being totally honest with you, said this entire trip to me has been miraculous. Meeting you and your brother, Clinton, and wife, Lisa, has been miraculous. The fact that I'm here to me feels like a miracle. And I told them, look, I've been in depression. I got separated from my wife on our 10-year anniversary, and that was roughly 10 months ago. And I didn't realize I was in a depression, but I haven't really allowed myself to live. And what I find to be miraculous is that, and that's where I started this video with about leaning in. When I did get separated, I joined a new gym. I joined F45. And I wasn't looking for friends. I was just looking for a new gym, something to keep me winning the day, stay fit. And I found this gym. I met some people, and very quickly I became friends with a bunch of people who, for the first time in a long time, enjoyed my company with no strings attached. Not allowed, enjoyed my sense of humor, which has not been enjoyed. You know, one of the things that I think made me incompatible with my marriage is that my sense of humor, which is, I think I'm pretty freaking hilarious, but it was not enjoyed. I couldn't be myself. I couldn't make the jokes I wanted to. And I always want to make jokes. I always like to poke fun at things. Uh, espe- especially with all the crazy things going on in the world right now. But couldn't do that. It was not allowed. I was canceled. My sense of humor was canceled. And I was willing to sacrifice that to stay together for the kids. But it's a huge part of who I am. And to finally be accepted with by new people who enjoyed my sense of humor and like to work out and like many of the things that I like to do, it just felt great to have some friends. And that leads me to I got invited on this trip, and my original answer was no. And my friend Aubrey wouldn't take that for an answer. Like her boyfriend wouldn't take that for an answer. They're like, you have to come. You have to come. And I don't want to say they forced me to do something. Nobody forces me to do anything. But they were really insistent that I needed to reconsider and find a way. And my initial response was no, which then turned to maybe. And eventually it turned to yes. And I'm so glad that I did, because I've got to experience over the last few days some of the most spiritually recharging things in nature that I never would have seen any other way. There was a point yesterday where I was riding jet skis with them, and I'm just gunning the jet ski as fast as it can go. And if you haven't been on a jet ski recently, let me just tell you, they are you might not think of them as being like an impact sport or a collision experience, but you're getting freaking bounced around. Your brain is bouncing it was bouncing off my skull. I'm jumping waves. I'm going vertical. I'm doing all kinds of fun stuff. And, but they're dangerous. So you got to watch yourself. You got to be careful, especially out in the open ocean when it's choppy. But it was fun, man. And I caught myself at one point and I looked at my friends and I said, my face hurts because I'm smiling so much. It was like pure adrenaline rush. Incredible. But I almost didn't get to experience any of that because my impulse was to say no. My impulse was to play small. My impulse was to stay, quote unquote, on house arrest, waiting to be available on demand for my children. And that is not living. So, where am I going with this? Besides the fact they're building everywhere, anywhere they can, it's that I need to rebuild too. And, the fact that my sobriety was challenged a little bit on this trip, I think was great. I got to pass that test. I got to jump that hurdle. And I feel more confident. I'm going home feeling great and also tired. I don't know if you could hear that, but it's the split time just recorded in my earbuds. I am walking 21 minutes for the first mile, which is not very fast for me. But anyhow, I got to remember what it was like to feel like a child who's experiencing summer vacation. I got to disconnect in a way where I didn't check my phone. I wasn't aware of my schedule. I wasn't trying to win the day. I wasn't trying to do anything. I completely disconnected from all of that, which some of you have encouraged me to do in the past, but I did none of that. Instead, I just let myself be. And no scheduled wake up time, no scheduled workout, no scheduled reading, no scheduled meditation, no scheduled cold calls or prospecting or making videos or work or clients or anything. Just nothing. And I haven't done that. I don't know in fact, I can't think of the last time I did that. It's at least been 10 years. And so what's the moral of this story? I don't freaking know. But good morning. How you doing? But I feel great. And I have to remember this trip was a good level setter for me because I get to recalibrate. I get to come home and choose how I want to feel, choose how I want to live, choose how I want my life to be, the friends I want to have, the relationships I want to create, the energy, the vibe that I want to emanate. um, I get to choose all those things. And so I feel infinitely blessed. And I've strengthened some really good relationships. How you doing? I got to experience things I didn't think I ever would. And, or not even, it's not that I never thought I would. I just never thought about. Um, Kind of feel like I've been in a foxhole for so long. I might be shell shocked. I allowed myself to peer over the top of it for a little while, thinking that there's, I don't know, some sort of tank battle or artillery battle or some kind of World War III scenario on the outside. And I look up. Turns out it's a beautiful day. So that's it. Enjoy your beautiful day. I'm going to do the same. If nobody's told you that they love you today, just know that I do. And I look forward to seeing you on my next video.